One Big Island man has a lot to be thankful for after a close encounter with a great white shark off Hawaii Island.
Looking at the head, I'm like, that is not a tiger shark. And it got closer and closer, just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Strategizing their each move, these crazy inhabitants of the oceans make sure humans know who owns the depths.
Get that! Whoa!
Whether it's whales jumping over boats or sharks giving shocks to kayakers.
Tiger shark!
Dive along for all the thrill lying beneath the waves that'll leave you shocked.
Oh my God! Holy!
Huge shark! A woman in Hawaii was all set for a fun dive. She was standing on the boat, ready to jump in the water. As she was about to jump into the ocean and took one last look, she noticed a massive tiger shark coming out of the water with its mouth open, seemingly ready to make a meal out of anything in its path. Her face was a few inches away from the shark's open mouth. She decided to cancel her dive after closely avoiding the jaws of the tiger shark. Whale surprise! A boat full of tourists got a fun surprise during their sightseeing trip. They were looking at the ocean when something exciting happened. Suddenly, they saw a big splash in the water. It was a baby humpback whale. Ah! It jumped high out of the water, making a big splash as it landed. The young whale, with its siblings, was having fun and playing in the waves. Everyone on the boat was laughing and pointing. They couldn't believe how close the whales were. The whale and its family soon swam off, leaving the spectators delighted by the amazing sight. Tiger shark bites kayak. Off the windward side of Oahu, a kayaker had quite the unexpected visitor. He was on a ride when he heard a bubbling sound. When he looked underwater, he was surprised to see something large and brown next to his kayak, which he first thought was a whale. Then he realized it was a tiger shark trying to bite the side of the kayak.
Tiger shark!
In a quick reaction, he used his foot to push the shark's head away. The shark soon faded from view, and the kayaker continued his journey back to the shore. Stalker Orca. A group of explorers on a boat were in the middle of the ocean when a giant sea creature started chasing them.
Right there.
While they were on their way back to the shore, they noticed two big orca sharks following them.
Oh, dude!
The big waves created by sharks made the boat's engine noisy. This scared the sharks a bit, but they kept coming. The captain steered the boat towards a reef where the water was too shallow for the big creatures. The explorers' hearts were racing as they zoomed over the reef, and the chase stopped. Their speedy boat saved the day. Shark flips over kayaker.
We had the Goliath grouper on first, and then whenever I pulled the rod out of my hands,
A guy booked a trip with a fishing charter for some adventure. He was out in a kayak trying to catch fish when something huge caught in his rod. It was so powerful that it flipped his kayak upside down. The man fell into the water and spotted a big shark swimming nearby.
my first thought was try to jump back on top of the kayak. My second thought was, I still got my flip-flops on.
He made a quick decision and swam to the main boat as fast as he could to save his life. The crew helped pull him onto the boat, safe at last.
Then my third thought was, you better swim that boat as fast as you can because there's a big shark underneath you.
They all watched as the shark went toward the empty kayak. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, the shark vanished into the deep water. The guy was shaken, but okay.
Get in my boat!
His fishing trip turned into a wild adventure he'd never forget. Thief Shark. A fishing guide was waiting for a bite when his rod suddenly bent. He thought he had caught a big fish, but he was in for a surprise. He felt a strong pull on his fishing rod while waiting for the fish to get on the hook. As he reeled it in, he saw a huge tuna stuck in the teeth of a great white shark. Suddenly, the shark let go of it and swam away.
Hey, let go!
The guide quickly pulled the tuna onto the boat. Later, he donated the tuna with teeth marks on it to a local marine research center. They used the information to learn more about the great white shark's feeding habits. Sharks land on boat.
Oh my.
Please don't do anything.
Some fishermen were out on their boats looking for kingfish when something crazy happened. A big mako shark landed on their boat. It was flopping around on the deck trying to get back to the water. The fishermen decided to help and grabbed some long poles to push the shark. It was hard because the shark was heavy and kept moving. Finally, they got the shark back into the ocean. They didn't catch any kingfish that day, but they had a wild story to tell. Shark mealtime. On the 4th of July, marine officials had a surprising encounter off the coast of Ocean City. A boat named Pumpin' Hard was using a dredge to attract fish and had set up an underwater camera to watch the sea life. Suddenly, a large mako shark appeared out of nowhere. It opened its big mouth, showing its pointed teeth, and grabbed the fish from the dredge. After a few thrilling moments of splashing and twisting, the shark finished eating and swam away. Great white close call. A group of friends were checking out some seals on a boat near Tasmania's north coast. All of a sudden, something huge smacked into their boat. It was a great white shark about 3.5 to 4 meters long that bumped the boat hard and shook it, but everyone was luckily safe. Thankfully, the shark left the scene after striking the boat. The group decided they'd had enough excitement for one day. They headed to the beach to make sure their boat wasn't affected by the incident. And luckily, it hadn't been. White shark surprise. A researcher in Wellfleet, Massachusetts got to see a shark jump up close.
We're ready to crack there now on that fucker.
Whoa! Holy crap!
The researcher was on a vessel standing with a stick. Suddenly, a great white shark jumped out of the water with its mouth open, ready to grasp him.
What?
Right up.
This-
And opened his mouth right at my feet.
This thing was running. Did you guys see that?
He went out.
Luckily, the boat had special safety grills that kept him safe. But the shark kept moving around the boat and swam away after a chase. This incident shocked him, and he decided to go back to the deck to accept what he'd just witnessed. Great white breaching. A family in South Africa witnessed a shark being caught instead of a fish. They were on a boat trip when one of the crew members started fishing. Bubbles started popping up in the water. Then, out of nowhere, a great white shark jumped out. The shark grabbed the fish right off the line. It was so fast, the family could hardly believe their eyes. In a splash, the shark disappeared back into the ocean. Everyone on the boat was amazed. They got to see one of the ocean's top hunters in action. Shark on board. A fisherman in Long Island, New York, got a big surprise while surfing in the ocean. A shark suddenly jumped right onto the boat.
That's a nice mako. Sure
How you gonna do it? You can't hold on to him.
But when it tried to get back in the water, it got stuck in the safety grill on the side. The shark was flapping around, trying to free itself. The crew worked together to help the shark. Finally, they were successful in sending that shark back to its habitat.
Bye-bye, ready?
All right, Don's gonna cut. There he goes.
Bye-bye.
It swam away quickly, probably happy to be free again. It isn't every day you get a chance to rescue a fish that big. Orca versus paddleboard. A peaceful day of surfing turned into an adventure for a traveler near an island. As he paddled on his board, enjoying the gentle waves, an orca shark swam silently under his surfboard, its body visible in the water. The surfer held his breath and was afraid to move. The creature seemed to be observing the board, but didn't push or bother it.
Hey!
After a few tense moments, it glided back into the ocean, while the surfer, both thrilled and relieved, continued his journey through the ocean. Orcas Closeup. In the Bay of Plenty near Bowentown, New Zealand, a swimmer's day took quite a turn. While exploring a reef, he saw an orca looking straight at him. It passed by him unbothered, but returned with another orca after some time. The traveler decided it was best to leave, but then the orcas began to chase him. He swam as fast as he could, heading towards the rocky shore. Fortunately, he reached the safety of the rocks just in time. The orcas swam off, leaving the traveler with an unforgettable and thrilling memory of his encounter. Hammerhead Shark Charge. A kid and his father went out on a boat for a fun day at sea. Suddenly, they saw a tarpon swimming fast and trying to get away from a hammerhead shark.
Oh, Hammerhead, look at him, video it, not video it.
The chase became intense when the tarpon and shark zoomed around and got closer to the boat. The boy and his father watched the prey and predator situation.
That's...
Sit down right there, buddy. You're fine. Just sit down right there. Just film right there.
Then, in a flash, the hammerhead caught the tarpon and went underwater. The boy and his dad looked at each other, amazed. They'd just seen a real-life shark hunt. Whale lifts kayakers. On a sunny day, two friends were paddling their kayak along the coast of Argentina. They stopped to watch some whales swimming nearby.
Te estoy filmando. Después te saco foto.
Amazed by the gentle giants of the sea. Suddenly, a huge whale swam right under their little boat. To their surprise, the whale lifted them out of the water on its back. The kayakers held on tight as the whale rolled over, carrying them high above the waves.
Terrible! Mira.
They could see for miles around, getting a view of the ocean like never before. After a short ride, the whale gently lowered them back into the sea and continued its journey in the ocean. Humpback Whale Mealtime. Something fishy was happening at Knudsen Cove Marina in Alaska. A fisherman noticed strange bubbles rising near the docked boats. He moved closer to get a better look. Suddenly, a massive humpback whale burst out of the water, its huge mouth wide open. The whale towered over the boats before splashing back into the sea. The fisherman couldn't believe his eyes and quickly grabbed his camera to record the incredible sight. After the excitement, the fisherman called sea animal experts for help. They found the lost whale and guided it far out into the open ocean. There, the whale could swim freely without getting stuck in the marina again. The fisherman was glad he could help the whale find its way back home. Humpback whale breaches next to boat. Passengers on a tourist boat had a thrilling experience near Gustavus, Alaska. They were on a whale watching trip, but they got much more than they might have asked for. A huge humpback whale decided to put on a show. The whale came out of the water right next to their boat without warning. When it crashed back into the ocean, it sent waves flying everywhere. An expert on the boat jumped into the water and guided the whale to go away. Orca versus dolphin. A fisherman's day at sea turned into an exciting adventure. He was sitting in his boat when something caught his eye. Suddenly, a dolphin leapt out of the water. But it wasn't alone. Right behind it, a huge shark burst from the waves. The shark was trying to catch the dolphin for its lunch. The man watched the scene as the two sea creatures put on an amazing show. Quick as a flash, the fisherman grabbed his camera. He recorded the thrilling chase as the dolphin zipped through the water, with the shark hot on its tail. The dolphin used its speed and smarts to escape the sharp-toothed hunter. As they swam away, the man realized he had seen something very special. A real-life ocean drama right before his eyes. Whale playing tag. A person was paddling on a board near the beach in Puerto Madryn, Argentina. Something big and amazing was about to happen. A huge southern right whale swam up to the board. But this whale wasn't scary at all. It was actually really friendly. It came close just to say hello. Then another whale joined its friend. It looked like they were going somewhere together. A flying camera in the sky took a video of this cool moment. When a man in a boat saw those whales, he changed where he was going. He moved his boat so the whales could swim by easily. Sharks claim its food. A man was fishing in the ocean, excited to catch a big fish. He felt a strong tug on his line and started to pull it in. Suddenly, a shark burst out of the water. It grabbed the fish with its sharp teeth, nearly hitting the boat. The man was scared and let go of his fishing rod. The shark swam away with the fish, leaving the man safe but without his catch. The fisherman was shocked but happy to be okay. He decided it was time for him to go home. Next time, he'll be more careful when fishing in shark-filled waters. Shark after meal. Some fishermen were trying to catch fish on their boat. They waited a long time but couldn't seem to catch anything. They decided to move to a new spot. As they pulled their fishing rod out of the water, a shark shot up from below. Its mouth was wide open, trying to get the bait. The shark missed and then casually swam away. The fishermen were surprised but glad the shark didn't cause any trouble. They laughed about their close call and went to find a better place to fish. It was an exciting day on the water they wouldn't soon forget. Shark jumps into boat. A group of friends were out fishing for their dinner when suddenly a shark flew out of the water and landed right on their boat.
Hey! Get that? Holy fuck!
Everyone on the boat ran around trying to stay away from the shark. It was very scary. After a bit, two brave friends decided to help the shark. They used a cloth to carefully move it back to the water. The friends cheered as the shark went under the water. They were happy they could help the lost shark find its way back home. After all the excitement, they went back to fishing, hoping to catch something for dinner without any more surprises. Petting a great white. During a boat ride, a man noticed a great white shark swimming nearby. He decided to pet it and threw a fish he had caught earlier into the water. As the shark approached the fish, the man placed his hand underwater to pet it. Each time he got close, the shark opened its mouth, making it a risky move. After several attempts, the shark got tired of trying to catch his hand and left the scene in search of better prey. Big Boss Shark. A fishing crew faced quite an unexpected challenge when a shark bit the propeller of their vessel. The crew quickly realized its intentions and knew they needed to act fast to save the vessel. They shut off the engine to prevent further damage and worked together to stabilize the boat. Meanwhile, the shark swam away, seemingly unharmed by the encounter. Using their emergency equipment, the crew managed to signal for help. Another boat arrived, towing them safely back to shore. Shark versus gator. A day at the pier turned wild for some tourists in South Carolina when nature put on an unexpected show.
That's hilarious.
Some visitors were tossing food to an alligator when a dark shape emerged from the waves. It was a shark that rushed at the alligator trying to grab it, but the shark couldn't get a good grip on the tough, scaly reptile and swam off. The alligator settled back into its usual spot, leaving everyone amazed at the rare encounter they just witnessed. Bull shark. A group of fishermen were enjoying their day on two small boats, waiting for a big catch. Suddenly, one of the boats shook.
It's a huge bull!
A large shark had taken their bait. The man holding the fishing rod struggled to free the hook as the powerful fish pulled hard.
Watch out!
Finally, after a tense battle, the line snapped. The shark slipped away underwater, leaving the tired fishermen with an exciting tale of their unexpected wrestling match with an ocean giant. Humpback whale, or orca's food. A fisherman off the coast witnessed an exciting chase between a humpback whale and an orca. The fisherman saw a humpback whale trying to escape from the orca. As the whale leapt out of the water, the orca jumped after it, but the whale managed to get away at first. Later, the fisherman used an underwater drone to look more closely. He discovered that the orca had eventually succeeded in catching the humpback whale. The chase showed the dramatic survival struggles in the ocean, highlighting the intense nature of these predators. Subscriber's pick. Have you ever been face to face with a giant shark? That's exactly what happened to a group of brave volunteers off the coast of South Africa. These volunteers were helping with a special project to protect great white sharks. While out on their boat, they got one heck of a big surprise. A huge female great white shark, almost 4.8 meters long, swam right up to them. The shark was hungry, trying to grab the fish bait in the water.
Here, just here.
It stayed close to the boat for over an hour, allowing them to take important photos of its dorsal fin for identification. It was a day that they would never forget, getting so close to a real-life giant of the ocean while helping to keep sharks safe. Shark close call. A scuba diver was fascinated by the sea and underwater rocks, observing the surface closely. Suddenly, a shark approached, first moving slowly and then speeding up. The diver remembered that maintaining eye contact with the shark could help because sharks are less likely to attack if they feel watched. As the shark came closer, the diver used his diving equipment to gently push it away. By staying calm and using his knowledge, he managed to get out of that place and continue to enjoy the beauty of the underwater world. Whale breaching. A group of friends were enjoying a sunny day on their boat. They noticed something strange in the water around them. Bubbles were coming up, and lots of fish were swimming to the top. All of a sudden, the sea exploded. A huge whale shot out of the water and bumped into their boat. The boat shook hard, but didn't tip over. Big waves from the whale's splash made it tricky to steer. The friends were scared but tried to stay calm. They worked together to move their boat away from the whale. It was quite the wild ride, but luckily they made it to safety. It was an adventure they'd never forget. Orca versus otter. A man was enjoying a peaceful day on his boat when he noticed strange ripples in the water. Suddenly, a small otter hopped onto his boat, looking very scared. The man soon understood why. A big orca was chasing the otter. The orca's swimming had caused the waves he'd seen earlier. Feeling sorry for the little otter, the man let it stay on the boat to keep it safe. He even took out his camera to record this amazing event. The orca swam around the boat for a while, but couldn't reach the otter. Finally, it gave up and disappeared under the water. The otter, feeling much safer now, slipped back into the sea as well. Orca punts a seal into the air. a man with a camera saw something amazing in the ocean. A small sailfish flew high up in the air, but it wasn't magic. A big orca hit it with its tail, making the sailfish fly up. The orca wasn't just playing, it was a young orca who was learning how to catch food. This helps them get better at hunting when they grow up. The orca quickly caught the sailfish when it fell back down. Then it ate the sailfish for its lunch. After eating, the orca swam away back into the deep sea. The man was quite surprised by what he saw. It was like watching a nature show, but right in front of him. Giant squid. While diving near Japan's coast, a man had quite the incredible encounter. As he explored underwater, he spotted a huge shape moving in the distance. To his amazement, it was a giant 2.5-meter long squid, with its flowing tentacles moving through the water. The man watched in wonder as the squid passed him by, its size and movement unlike anything he'd ever seen. After a few moments, the squid vanished into the water, leaving the man with an unforgettable memory of a rare and magical ocean experience. Greeting time. A tourist was enjoying at sea when suddenly a massive gray whale rose from the water right next to the boat. Its huge mouth was open, showing rows of baleen plates. Instead of being scared, the brave tourist reached out and gently patted the friendly giant's head. The whale seemed to enjoy the attention. It disappeared under the waves and returned with its baby whales for a special meet and greet. Soon, it was time for the whales to leave. With a final spray from their blowholes, the whale family slowly swam away into the sea. Shark being weird. A group of beachgoers were out on a cave diving trip in South Australia, hoping to see some great white sharks. Things took a turn as a massive shark appeared from under their boat, but it was completely upside down, which amazed the viewers. Luckily, their tour guide was also a shark expert, who explained that sharks sometimes swim upside down to get a different view of potential prey. After getting back to its normal position, the shark tried its sharp teeth on the boat. The expert suggested leaving the place as it can be risky to stay, and they left the spot. Shy octopus. A researcher was exploring the depths of the Pacific Ocean, hoping to catch some amazing sea life. He suddenly came across an octopus. Instead of swimming away, the octopus seemed disturbed by being recorded. Using its strong suction cups, the 8-armed sea creature reached out and tried to grab the camera right out of the researcher's hands. He struggled to keep hold of his equipment as the octopus was continuously pulling the camera. Finally, after a few tense moments, he managed to gently free his camera from the octopus's grip and got back on the boat. Shark jump. In Cape Cod Bay, a family was enjoying their boat, reeling in fish and having fun, when something unexpected happened. They were pulling in their latest catch, and suddenly a shark leapt from the water.
Good one.
Oh, whoa! It was so fast that the family barely had time to react. In a flash, the shark snatched the fish right off their fishing line and disappeared back into the waves. The family agreed to be more careful while fishing in the future and decided to go back home for now. Hello, Dolphin! A group of locals were on a boat excursion when an unexpected passenger arrived. They were watching a pod of playful dolphins swimming nearby, but things took a surprising turn when one dolphin jumped high and landed on the boat. It flopped around, trying hard to get back into the water. Luckily, another boat was close by. When they saw what was happening, they quickly came over to help. Finally, they managed to gently put the dolphin back into the ocean. Everyone cheered as the rescued dolphin darted off into the blue to join its pod. Kayak visit. In Port Augusta, South Australia, a fisherman noticed something large moving in the water nearby. His eyes widened as he realized it was a huge, great white shark. The massive predator began to circle his small kayak, its fin visible through the water's surface. Each circle brought the great white closer, making the kayaker nervous. Then, without warning, the shark leapt out of the water, going straight for the fisherman's paddle. The kayaker barely had time to react as the shark's powerful jaws gripped his paddle. Fortunately, the shark let go quickly and disappeared back into the depths. Savage shark. A man who was traveling in the ocean recorded an exciting move made by a great white shark. A petrel bird was floating on the waves when a great white shark tried to grab it from below. The bird saw the shark's fin and quickly changed its position, but the shark kept following. It jumped out of the water, grabbed the bird in its mouth, and took it underwater for lunch. The traveler was amazed by what he saw and shared the incredible moment with others. Cage fear. Near Guadalupe Island, a diver had a scary adventure. He was in a cage underwater, watching lots of fish swim around, but he wasn't alone. A huge great white shark showed up. It swam near the cage, showing how big and strong it was. The diver got scared and hid in the corner of the cage. He didn't know what would happen next. Suddenly, the shark tried to make its way into the cage, but luckily, a ladder stopped it from coming in. The diver was safe, but very scared. The shark seemed to give up and swam away. The people on the boat quickly pulled the diver out of the water. It was a close call, but thankfully, he was okay. Open mouth. A local was kayaking near the coast when something incredible happened. Suddenly, 2 whales appeared right in front of him and seemed to hug each other. The kayaker moved away to be safe, knowing the waves from the giant whales could flip his lightweight kayak. After a while, he paddled back to the shore before it got dark. Another similar incident happened in Monterey Bay when a kayaker was paddling. He found himself incredibly close to a group of whales getting out of the water, and after a short appearance, they went to their natural habitat. Black hole. In the Hamptons, aerial footage captured an exciting scene. Sharks were caught in a feeding frenzy near the shore. As the camera flew overhead, it showed the sharks swimming rapidly, but the fish stayed just out of reach, seeming to avoid the predators. It looked as if the fish were making a path for the sharks, creating a magical and dramatic view. The feeding frenzy was so intense that it created a stunning sight. Eventually, the sharks moved on, and the fish scattered, returning to their usual patterns in the ocean. Alien jaws. A strange encounter took place between a diver and an unusual shark in the ocean. The diver was exploring the depths when a goblin shark appeared. The weird-looking fish, with its long snout and pinkish-gray skin, tried to attack. The shark's jaws shot out like a spring, aiming for the diver, but its teeth couldn't grab hold, as the shark was just a youngster, and its teeth weren't fully grown. The diver realized he was safe and quickly swam away, and the young shark, probably feeling confused, disappeared from the scene.